I said to my wife, "Don't do this," warning her. As the company board left me on the tarmac, she replied, "Have fun." Minutes later, their lead investor called, "Our shares are plummeting. News says your husband resigned." Who is he? I stood on the scorching tarmac, watching my wife board the corporate jet with her entire executive team. The heat radiated through my shoes as I held my resignation letter. "Angela, don't do this," I said quietly. "No begging, just a warning." She turned, designer sunglasses already on. "Have fun flying commercial, David." The door sealed shut with a hiss. I should probably explain what I do. For 8 years, I was the supportive husband at company events, the guy who smiled in photos and made small talk at galas. What nobody knew, not even Angela, was that I was the ghost author of every patent her company, Nextcore Industries, was built on. Back in 2015, I'd introduced Angela to my old business partner, James Chen. They hit it off. I helped draft the initial IP framework through an anonymous trust. The paperwork listed me as Trust Entity 7R42. No name, no face, just signatures buried in legal documents nobody bothered to audit. Why stay anonymous? Angela asked me to. "Stay safe, stay out of the spotlight," she'd said, back when she still valued my opinion. I agreed because I loved her, but lately I'd become furniture. At the last board dinner, she literally forgot to introduce me. Someone asked who I was, and she said, "Oh, just my husband. He does consulting or something." So, when she left me on that tarmac in front of her smirking executives, I made a decision. I pulled out my phone and called our attorney. "Execute Clause 22, I said calmly. "Are you sure? This triggers immediate patent revocation." "I'm counting on it." I hung up and got into the black sedan that had been waiting for me. No drama, no shouting, just precision. 40 minutes later, the first headline dropped on Tech Insider. Anonymous IP partner resigns from Nextcore Industries. The article was vague, but mentioned that a foundational legal architect had severed ties with the company. Anyone paying attention would understand the implications. I went back to my hotel room and logged into a secure dashboard. 3 documents were ready. Resignation notice, cascading termination clause, and media packet. I uploaded all 3. Status sent. Then I waited. Angela's flight was probably somewhere over Ohio when her phone started exploding. I imagined her face as their lead counsel called in a panic. "We're seeing movement in secondary markets. Someone just filed resignation papers from the IP Trust. He's listed as co-author of every patent you pitched this morning." "Who?" she'd ask. "Your husband." By midnight, the board had gathered for an emergency session. The email they all received was clinical. Per foundational agreement filed 2015. Resignation of Trust Entity 7R42 triggers automatic suspension of all associated IP licensing rights within 72 hours. Every product, every contract, every quarterly projection built on technology they no longer legally owned. Their lawyer put it simply. "You're squatting on IP you don't control. You didn't read the fine print. He was the author. You all signed off without due diligence." Angela tried calling me 17 times. I didn't answer. She sent voice memos, texts, apologies. If this was about the tarmac, I'm sorry. Please, we can fix this. But I wasn't interested in apologies. I was interested in consequences. The hashtag Clause 22 started trending. Someone made a meme of a jet taking off while a stick figure waved goodbye to a crumbling building. 3 days later, their biggest competitor made an acquisition offer contingent on hiring me as their lead IP consultant. Angela's company had 2 choices: sell at half value or collapse entirely. She stepped down as CEO the following week. Me, I'm doing just fine. I'm consulting again, this time with my name on the contracts. And Angela, she finally learned my real job title.